One of the few nations to stand with the Kurds is Israel. But some experts believe how the U.S., the world's superpower, responds may well determine the future of the Kurdish people. During our coverage of Kurdistan, we have often met with retired General Jay Garner. He joined Mark Martin in our Virginia Beach studios to discuss the plight of the Kurds, the growing influence of Iran, and the plight of persecuted Christians in the region.
Well, first of all, what's your view of the situation in Iraq today, especially Iran's influence?
Well, I think Iraq is a puppet government of, in fact, I know Iraq is a puppet government of Iran. It's been that way since we left in 2011, and it's not going to change. And if we allow Iran to control the Kurdish North, then the whole country will be a total puppet of Iran, and it will allow the Iranians then to complete their land bridge that goes from Tehran all the way to Beirut, and allows them to then put far more terror and pressure on the Israelis, and it will cause the few remaining Christians in the area to flee.
How does all this affect Iran's threat to Israel?
Well, of course, you know Iran established Hezbollah under Assad's father in Lebanon. And then what's happened is Hezbollah has become a state within a state inside Lebanon. And so their money, equipment, training, everything is funneled to Hezbollah from Iran. And so we allow them to continue to establish this permanent land bridge. They had one before, but it was intermediate. And so if we allow them to establish this permanent land bridge, that will be able to funnel far more equipment, far more weapons, far more terrorist equipment to Hezbollah to inflict more damage on Israel.
Well, what about Russia's role in the Middle East? Do you feel like their presence poses a danger to the United States and Israel?
The Russian footprint that's going in there is very, very serious, I think. Plus, the Russians, for the first time now, are dealing directly with Iranians. And so there's a lot of Russian influence. What the Russians are doing, they're filling the vacuum that we're leaving. We're leaving a big vacuum there.
Well, we talked a little bit about this earlier in the interview. We talked about the Christian population in Iraq. What do you think about the future of Christianity in Iraq?
I think it's in danger unless we prevent the Iranians from controlling the Kurdish North. And if we now step in and we support the Kurds up north and we protect them, then the Christians will remain there. There's probably 250,000 Christians there now at the most. You know, there's over 1.5 million before 2003. But if we don't do that, then the Kurds have no choice but to become Iranian proxies. And once that happens, the Christians will have to leave. So you have no Christians in the area for the first time in over 2,000 years.
So there is a movement for a Christian state to be formed in Iraq. So you believe that the U.S. should get behind that?
I don't know that there's a movement for a Christian state, but what would happen in the Kurdish North is they would designate their area there as a safe haven for Christians throughout the region. It already is, and they would just make it official. And the Kurds have always protected the Christians. In fact, some of the Kurdish politicians are Christians. And so, but if we don't support the Kurds, then they have no choice except to be an Iranian proxy. There's no other choice for them. And if that happens, then of course Christians have to leave. They can't survive in that environment.
Well, let's switch gears now and turn now to North Korea. The country is getting more belligerent, firing a ballistic missile Tuesday, and it says it has the capability of reaching the U.S. What is your opinion on how we should deal with this rogue state?
Well, first of all, you can't let it continue. And I think what I would like to see us do is put a Aegis cruiser, one or more Aegis cruisers in the water on each side of the peninsula and engage those missiles as they're launched, and just tell Kim Jong-un, you know, we're not going to allow you to launch any more missiles. We're not going to allow you to test any more missiles. You're not going to be a nuclear country. You're not going to have nuclear missiles. You are a nuclear country, but you're not going to have nuclear missiles. And if you take action against us with that, then we'll not only destroy those missiles, we'll destroy where they were launched from.
So even if it's just a missile test, you believe that the U.S. and its allies should shoot that missile down?
I absolutely do, yes. Absolutely. Not let them get the test results from it. not let them be able to advance to the next stage from it. And then if that doesn't work, then I guess the only thing we can do is go in there and prevent him from establishing. If he gets a missile with a nuclear warhead on it, he will use it. I mean, the whole country's unstable.
So do you support a regime change?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, how can you treat people the way he treats them? I mean, he has a population that's starving to death. He doesn't take care of them. I mean, we just captured a soldier, and the Army's supposed to be the best fed of all of the soldiers, full of worms and parasites. So you can tell that if he's the best fed, then what's happening to the civilian population?
So what do you think that the U.S. should do to move that forward?
I think what the president's doing, he's continuing to put pressure on it. And I know that in the president's own mind, there's a place at which then he's got to take action. He's got to take probably some sort of, if he can't do it diplomatically, which I don't think he can, we never have been able to, then he's got to do it kinetically, and he probably will. And he has to, because we cannot allow him to develop that missile that can hit our nation.
All right, General Jay Garner, thank you so much for your time and your insights.